Greetings, friends, and welcome to Enigma Night Gaming. My name is Liara, and I will be your guide in today's adventure. Today, we're playing Disco Elysium, and in today's episode, we are going to be the very best cop that we can be. Last time, we managed to actually investigate the body without vomiting all over ourselves, and in doing so, we unlocked a laundry list of tasks that need to be done. So, we are going to strap on our detective hats and we are going to track down these leads as best as we can. So, without further ado, let's hop into the game. All right, so let's start by talking to Kim and getting a brief on the
Yes?
case. All right, so tell me about the case.
What do you want to know?
Literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing. Would you say this is a mysterious case? If we're from different precincts, why are we on the same case? Okay, if we're from different precincts, why are we on the same case?
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
What do you mean?
You don't know? I assumed you were in on it.
You know what? I'm in on retrograde amnesia. I don't remember being in on anything.
That's good.
Tell me about it.
What's there to say? It's just stupidity.
Okay, do we ask about it or let it go? Maybe we just let it go for now.
Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
Would you say it's a mysterious case?
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Okay, why not?
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
I was thinking something otherworldly might be involved. You know, supernatural. White male in his 40s. What more do you need? Personally, I think labor disputes are very mysterious. Okay, so the case probably isn't mysterious, but could it be sexy? Let's see. White male in his 40s. What more do you need? Personally, I think labor disputes are very mysterious. I don't know.
Then you're
None
in
of these
luck,
are good.
because we are in the midst of a major strike by the dock workers union. Maybe more than that. The union clearly wants a piece, not just of the industrial harbor, but the Wild Pines Corporation itself.
Wild Pines is the corporation that we have to track down this drug runner for the
Is this a
lady at the dock.
strike, or the first shots in a workers' coup?
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district isn't used to the RCM's presence, and the union rarely overplays its hand, as it appears to have done in this case.
Okay, wait, so this is a strike or an attempted coup?
Strike, coup, revolution, it's brigandage, however you parse it.
Okay.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion taking form.
We should ground the workers into fine paste and feed them to the pigs. We should ground the owners into a fine paste and feed them to the pigs. With this little foreknowledge, I am unsure which side to grind into pig's feed. The decision must ferment on me. Also, nationalism. I don't think grounding one or the other side in a pig's feed will do any favors. I'm really, really smart. I spent the last 20 seconds deciding on which side to ground into pig's feed. Why? Yeah. Okay, so I've spent the last 20 seconds deciding on which side. Why?
Politics is habit forming and hazardous. It is also irrelevant to police work. You're right to doubt the impulse. It might be detrimental to our task here.
Okay.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to know about the case?
Literally anything about it? I can't remember a single thing.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember.
Brief, yes, this sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate.
Okay.
During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Okay. Why does the briefing... Oh, wait. Does the briefing say who the victim was? Why didn't we know anything about the caller? Okay, so does it say who the victim
A
was?
security guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth.
Why didn't we know anything about the caller?
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
But why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Of course, yes, I understand everything now. Let me just make this perfectly clear. Our job here is to find the killer. I still don't understand anything. Okay, I think I understand.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Okay, I think that's all we
Good.
need for now. All right, now let's go ask about that serial number, right? So we have a serial number from the
Droplets
armor
of rain fall on the white
on the
and
corpse.
blue police livery of the motor carriage.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to...
Do something important? Something murder related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Ferv series.
Okay.
With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Canema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds, and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Let's see. Won't it roll over on the first sharp corner? Turn your attention to the motor carriage itself. Won't it roll over on the first sharp corner?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Canema effectively a mobile power plant.
Oh boy. This tech talk is really rubbing me the right way. Let's see.
Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
The machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool. Let's see. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. Looks impractical. But this machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Very cool. I think we should compliment his car because that'll make him feel good.
Mm-hmm. You want to take a closer look?
Let's see. What's it packing there? Point to the engine. A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface. What's it packing there? Let's point to the engine.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there.
Okay.
Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
Let's see. That's what? A 7-liter V12?
7.2. Supercharged.
Hey, Everett. Welcome in. How's the investigation going? We are just getting started. We are following down our leads one by one. All right. The lieutenant's trying to suppress a smug smile unsuccessfully. He really likes his car. A fine machine.
Yes. An extraordinary machine.
He really
It's
likes his
nice
car.
and all, but why so modest? Put some zing into it. Flare it up. Slam it down. Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Well, let's see. We don't want to demand him, right? We can ask him if he ever thought of switching to helium headlights.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
If we ever get this case solved, maybe we can do it together. We'll have like a bonding time. Sounds like a hassle, but good luck. He might just say no because we're just coworkers, but we can offer, right?
Maybe. Yes, definitely, maybe.
Okay, so that sounds like a no.
And it means no.
All right. Yeah. So let's move on. All right. We do need
Inside, you see
to
a set of
make a
steering
call,
levers,
though.
a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Let's pick up the radio.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Could you run a serial number from a pair of armored boots for me?
Sure, officer. What's the number? And the make of the armor, if you know it.
All right. It's the E50 one that we found before.
Got it. I'll contact the ICP database immediately. Call back tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have dug up something useful by then.
Okay.
The International Collaboration Police, ICP, is an inter-Isolari law enforcement service, the crown jewel in the moral intern diadem, alongside EPIS and the coalition government.
All right. I'm done with the radio. That's all we
57,
needed to do.
over and out.
All
In
right.
the cabin, you see a set of steering levers.
I think we're good. Okay. So, now let's check our log. I think what we need to do is probably go to the harbor. I think is going to be the next thing that we want to do. But we want to go see if we can go the back way we found, right? I remember he didn't like all the running. We could talk to the, wait, what is this thought? Let's see. There was a thought here. What is this? The book appears, oh. What? That didn't even make any sense. We have another, thought. Oh my. I wonder what that person's reading. The book is titled Men from Heimdall and the Wildfire. Okay, so we knew about that actually. Who are you? Working class woman? You see a sturdy woman humming to herself. She seems to be browsing books. Let's see. Is that Loose Radio City you're reading? A good one? Point at the book. No ceremonies, just hello. How about a good one? Point at the book. She seems to be looking at it.
Hello?
Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
Okay.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
I'm not gonna point that out. What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
And she reverts her attention to the worn out paperback. Phenomenal.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the
What
bookstand.
with? A lot of things. For example, people tend to go missing.
Let's see. That's all for the moment. I'll let you read.
The woman before you nods and returns.
We're not gonna
to
go
her reading.
fish for work. We have plenty of stuff to do. And she doesn't really want our help right now, so we'll just let it be. Do we see any trash? We gotta be on the lookout for any more bottles. Because we still gotta get 21 real before tomorrow, so we'll have enough for our rent in the hotel again. Alright, so we're gonna head up over here. Now, maybe we can get that jump that we were looking at before done. That would be nice. What about you? I think we have to actually get in there before we can get anything.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you?
Oh, actually, okay, Kuno told me you were supposed to know about the armor.
The little boy had it good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What
Uh-huh.
happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Of course.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison. He's got eyes everywhere, and the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used you to what? Scare you? The probe into the armor. What did you learn?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
Okay.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
Huh,
How
okay.
does it come off?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove.
Yes.
So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Alright, 4 pieces. Helmet, cuirass, gauntlet, boots. What about the leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
Okay, I'm ambitious. I'm going to find all of it, all the pieces. I'm going to find 1 piece. 1 is enough. I think we could find 1 piece.
Nice and balanced. Some junior officers can take care of the rest.
Smart
Okay.
choice. It's only that one spot you need armor too. The one the bullet hits. Good luck if you go for those boots though. You'll have an easier time wresting the spurs off a boyadero than getting them off him.
Okay, well, thank you for your cooperation.
If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
Let's see. The measurehead thing didn't go well for me. Could you help me with that somehow?
Sorry. Busy surveying the situation. I'm sure you'll figure something out. You guys have all sorts of gadgets these days.
Of course.
Wiretapping, telescopic batons, futuristic circuit bending to infiltrate harbor machinery. Maybe you could even knock that Kowalson crane over using some remote controls.
Okay.
Or calling in tactical air support. You guys have air support, right?
I'm pretty sure we don't, at least not all of these things.
I get it. Hush hush about the secret technology.
He passed the side of his nose with his index finger.
All right, I may have some advice for you on how to deal with Jean-Luc there, out of solidarity to the RCM. It's low in technology, however.
Yes?
First, don't fight him, obviously. Second, get him to share his theory by being subordinate. Admit your lack of expertise. Basically, grovel. That's how I do it. You're welcome.
Okay.
Maybe that would work. We'll have to see.
Alright, I'm a bit short on money. Can you give me some of it?
Sure thing, my friend. I can help you out.
Try to catch it? Sure.
The coin narrowly slips by your
Aw.
outstretched fingers and falls to the ground.
Sad.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw it like that. It's a thing we harbor folk do, passing around cargo and such.
Mm-hmm.
It was not meant as provocation or ridicule.
The boyadero stares at you with respect, then gestures towards the trickles of blood adorning your clothes.
What? That is not anything like what the text says. He just picks the coin up and hands it to us. Appreciated.
Right, always glad to help out the RC.
Oh, we
We're
got
on
a
the same branch you
real.
and that. Humans, I mean, not slithering scabs.
Okay, good talking to you. Alright, so we got a 1 coin. I mean, it's just a little bit. Can we get in here? Alright, can we maybe... We have some tools, right? Oop. Chain cutters, a flashlight. And then we're already using a pry bar, and apparently that's not helping, so... Alright, we need to go down and around. What was this? Oh, some more real. I will definitely take that. Okay, now we got to figure out how we can get our coat back. So let's see, can we climb up here? We're gonna have to try it. As terrifying as it is, we've got to try it.
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Savoir-faire. We're gonna have to get some points to get savoir-faire. Okay. Darn it. Okay. Alright. Well, how can we get down? Is there a way to get to this door? There's so much stuff. If we could just get over here. Well, I don't want to deal with that meathead, but we might have to. I'm not sure how else we can get what we need. Is there something... Can we, like, come in through one of these doors? How can we get over here, I wonder? There's clearly nothing there. Can we, like, reach it over here somewhere? I don't know. We cannot. Well, let's try going up. Hang on. Let's try going up over this way, maybe? No. There is no way to go. What is that? Is that where we came in at? Maybe. It may have been. Alright. Well, that's a little disappointing. We found it, but we still can't get it yet. We gotta have some points in savoir faire. Now, there is a lady. I'm guessing she's, like, on the roof of the Whirling in Rags. Maybe we can get up there. Like, maybe we can figure out how to talk to her. Let's see if we can find a way to get up there. All right. Let's go over here. And go up. Okay, is there a way to get up even further? I don't know. We'll look. Maybe out here? No. That gives us to the side. There's gotta be somebody, one of these ones, like one of these two, right? Maybe. Let's see where this takes us. We can't get in there. Alright, what about this one? If we can't do anything with this one, then I'm not sure.
The door is closed.
Knock?
There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on somewhere inside.
Okay, I'm not gonna try the handle. That's kind of creepy. I don't know how we get up there then. It's like a secret passage. Well, because I definitely don't see anywhere else that we could go up right now. All right, let's look at our objectives again and see what we can even do. Get the hangman's boots. Get the boots off the victim's feet. In order to succeed, the body has to be down, the autopsy has to be finished, and Kim has to be absent. Alright, so we can't do that until he's been autopsied. We really just want one piece of armor. It's enough. Find and locate one piece, and this one's done. Get the body down. We have to access the harbor. How can we access the harbor? With this one, we're waiting. We gotta call back tomorrow. Where's the rest of the armor? Kuno lied to you. Return and confront him. Okay, we could do that one. We're right here. Let's go ahead and talk to Kuno. Be ready for the Kuno special. But we'll see what he has to say. Alright, Kuno.
Does Kuno care?
Let's see. I talked to Manana about the armor.
So?
He raises his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. What did we get? Where was... Oh, I guess we completed it. That's fine. He said thank you. Wasn't too keen on chasing down that armor anyways. He told me you promised to sick the pigs on him. He said you're now the king of the entire Jamrock. He told me you promised to sick the pigs on him.
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him. Kuno's a man of his word.
Kuno said you're fat, running around like jello.
Oh boy.
Look, pig, Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
Whatever, kid. I will remember this, Kuno.
You got pig. Bad. Of course you're gonna remember
boy.
this. Now get the out of here, Grief and the Kuno.
Lovely.
After this, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
He's real, confident for like a 12-year-old or whatever. All right. Do I have more questions about the crime scene? I don't think I do. I'm off.
Kuno doesn't care.
Of course he doesn't. All right. Well, so we completed that one. The jam mystery. We still gotta find the lady driver. I don't know. We've got to go talk to him. I mean, I think I'd rather chase down that lead than deal with the other guy. All right, we're gonna have to have him turn in his friend. There's nothing else. We've talked to everybody. I'm really sorry.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
All right, I've changed my mind about your friend, the lady driver.
But I told you she's my friend. Please don't make me give her up, detective.
She's a
someone else.
suspect.
There's a ton of drivers here.
Yeah, but none of them will talk to me. She's a suspect. I need you to tell me where she is, or I can't finish the investigation.
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
Something breaks in him as he stares into your eyes. Where is the lady driver? Yeah. He takes a keyring from his pocket, then looks at it before giving it to you in silence.
The keys to a motor lorry. Pretty complex. Looks like a chain lock.
Okay.
Her lorry's still here. Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
Okay.
When did she leave?
Last Friday.
He blinks, his eyes half empty now. I'm sorry I had to do this.
I bet you are.
And why did you have the keys?
She left them to me. Because she trusted me. So I can get it out of the way when the jam breaks loose. Otherwise...
The other drivers would have to tow it or break in to get the machines moving.
If they break in, they would find what's hidden inside. Something incriminating.
Alright, so, let's go, Kim.
Thank you for your cooperation, sir. I know it was hard, but you did the right thing.
Because we're not even necessarily wanting to do
really
this.
Think so?
I really do. If I didn't, I wouldn't be in the RCM. Take care, sir.
We don't really want to catch her per se. We just want to get enough so that the lady from Wild Pines will talk to us, right? So let's find the green lorry. Where is it? It should be down here somewhere. It said around the statue. This one. Now we can get into it.
This green found, A to Z, contemporaire, is parked in the shadow of the ruins looming overhead. It's seen better days.
This is the one our man pointed to.
Okay, try to peek in the window.
The door
whoops.
is locked. The handle
I didn't
is
mean to
shiny,
do that
like
one.
it's recently replaced. There's no picking this lock. The owner has put special care into it. It's a recessed design.
Alright, take a peek in the
glass
window.
on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust. You can barely make out the shape of a seat and 2 steering levers.
Alright, let's unlock the door.
You push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the door pops back a few centimeters. You can just...
Open it.
The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front and a toolbox tucked under the driver's seat. Some tools lie scattered near the pedals.
Okay, admire the posters.
These are movie posters featuring starlets.
I
from
wonder if
long-forgotten
that lady
films
actually is
from
the lorry,
20s,
the lady
teens,
lorry driver.
even the 90s of the last century. One of them
Because
particularly catches
she
your eye.
was looking
A
at an
centerfold of
old,
ingenue attached right above the back seat.
poster, right?
There's definitely perfume in the air. It's spicy, with a hint of amberette, wafting through the bitter air of the cabin.
What's the smell?
The remnants of a sweet juniper-scented perfume, probably grenade number 5.
Okay, what's the centerfold?
The actress is draped in a sheathed dress, one of her shoulders bared. The faded remains of an autograph run across the poster. She's
Okay.
looking past the camera. Wait, doesn't she resemble someone you know? But you can't put your finger on whom exactly.
We don't know that many female characters, so...
This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography, less known for her talent than her tragic, untimely death.
What happened to her?
She wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street, a mixture of cocaine and morphine. She was afraid of the world, and the camera, too.
Okay, enough of
The
posters.
actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A
right,
radio
let's-
transmitter is attached to the dashboard, and a
Let's
toolbox
check
sits
the
under driver's
pedals.
seat. You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here, a hammer, a pair of pliers, a rusty wrench, have been casually thrown there by the disorganized driver.
All right.
But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the throttle.
Why is that?
Sandpaper adds extra grip.
Okay. Looks like the driver has glued a piece of sandpaper to the throttle to offer some extra grip.
Sandpaper? A novel technique?
The sandpaper would also rub off the pattern from the driver's right boot sole.
Yes?
He likes where this is going. One of the footprints at the crime scene had an aberration. One sole was smoother than the other.
Which means that the missing lady driver was present at the lynching.
The lieutenant's eyes light up behind his prescription lenses. And she's also the one that's running the drug trade. What a handful. First the drug smuggling, now this. How deep does the rabbit hole go? First drug smuggling, now this. How deep does the rabbit hole go?
Now we know for certain who is the missing 8th person at the lynching. Do you think that Hardy and his boys could also be involved in the drug operation?
Let's see, those jerks definitely. I think the entire union is involved, maybe even all of Martinez. Not necessarily. The lady driver could have been keeping the drug trade a secret. This would fit with what Joyce told us, but I don't want to make any assumptions. Yeah, I think we do that.
Understood. We should still go and see what Titus has got to say on the matter.
Right.
Are we finished with the lorry?
Maybe?
The movie stars are still smiling from the walls.
We
The
gotta
radio
check
transmitter
stuff.
sits on the
Let's
center
check the
console.
radio.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key has been removed, likely by the missing lady driver.
Okay.
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
Why would anyone need so many radio stations?
For contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW and UKV. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation. With quite a
Right.
range too.
Okay.
A 20-kilometer radius at least, perhaps extended by an attachable antenna that's
Could
not
be.
here right now.
Is there anything we can do with the radio?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely inoperable without the dial key.
Okay, so what else
The
is here?
smell of 1,000
We'll look in the
cigarettes
pull-out
from
toolbox.
A metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a folded newspaper.
Well, obviously we're gonna unfold that.
It's an issue of Petit Ferique from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from its pages.
Okay, what does it
looks
say?
like an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations explain the basics of something called the Ulan frequency system.
All right.
Ulan frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Interesting.
The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Close
Alright.
the rusty old lorry door.
I wonder if, can we, like, lock
Great.
it back?
I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Okay. Let's talk.
Alright, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Right. Okay. Seems like something police would do. What do you think of all this, Kim?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather extensive and well-organized operation.
Yes.
I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade casts a wide net.
This means it's well funded. Technology like that, a major player must be financing it.
Who, though?
I'm not sure what the Ulan frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed, or maybe it's used to tap into RCM networks.
Could be.
And last but not least, it looks like the Hardy Boys knew this driver, as we know that she was present at the lynching.
Right?
This may be the Union connection we've been searching for.
Okay, will the RCM open an investigation into this?
We should return to the murder case, see what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our narcotics department look into it.
Okay.
There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation, sometime later when we are done here. We do not want to get caught in that.
He stops to think. What are you thinking?
The fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Corruption?
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Okay. What about the movie posters? How do they factor into all this?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and I don't
be
know.
fooled. Desire always plays a role.
Maybe the trader is some sort of cinephile. Like, she may really like the movies.
Yes, well,
Alright, so it turns out that this is connected to the
like
Union.
Joyce told us, yes, logistically. But don't expect to bust this open during our stay here. At best, this is an angle we can use against them, to other ends, as extra ammunition.
Okay.
Meaning, someone as slippery as Everard won't be caught by a couple of cops and some stuff they found in some cabin.
Alright, debrief over.
Debrief over. After you.
Okay, so now we need to return to Joyce, right? We need to confront the Hardy Boys. Person present at the lynching is also involved with the drug trade at the harbor, which links them to the Hardy Boys. See what Titus has to say about it. Oh boy, time for another pleasant conversation. I enjoy talking to all these people. It's so wonderful. I wonder if this guy has anything else to say. Is he still, like, hate us? Can we
Oh,
give the
look.
keys back?
It's the cop who turned me into a bad person.
Okay. We didn't turn you into a bad person. If you're covering for somebody doing crimes, that's what makes you a bad person. You can't be doing that. All right.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
Titus does not look particularly happy to see you. All right. So, what do we say? Guess what? I've come upon something incriminating. I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where's the 8th Hardy Boy? Guess what? I've connected you to the local drug trade. Maybe we be vague to start with.
Incriminating. Now that's a big boy word.
He puts his beer can down. Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck? Why are your boot prints all over the scene? I've spoken to the dead man in a bizarre occult vision. Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck?
Container belt, like we use in the harbor?
Yes, why?
Because we took it from the harbor where we work. Then we went out back and used it to hang him.
And then he's gonna say, just kidding.
We did this together, all of us, until he was dead. That's why there's a container belt around his neck.
Okay.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
But there's a catch?
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Mm-hmm.
All 7 together. They're diluting responsibility. It's an anti-arrest tactic.
Okay, so you murdered him just like that, no remorse. Who called the shots that night? When did this hanging incident occur? Why did you kill him? How did you kill him? When did this hanging incident occur?
You don't have to answer any of his questions.
The fixer turns to remind Titus.
I know, Lizzie. Relax. We
Boy.
killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the victim?
Known him? We don't associate with scum like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah! Who do you think we are?
I couldn't tell ya.
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for Wild Pines?
That's my guess.
Same company you're striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid cow they sent in to us over.
Who?
But you know what?
He rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
Okay.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
Let's see. Who called the shots last night? Why did you kill him?
Why? 'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it?
And he stepped out of line.
And he stepped out of line. Okay, that's the important part.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too.
Okay.
Had Cohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
Okay.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
All right.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire mercs like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on. How do you even know he was in Special Forces? It's
one
from
night
the armor,
he walked
right?
Straight up to the mic and said, "I'm RNA's Special Forces, and I'm gonna you all."
Well.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNA's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna everyone.
Okay.
We couldn't believe it either, but he did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
All right.
Sire, the tale is true.
Is
this
it?
is a serious violation of the karaoke code.
Okay, besides crimes against karaoke, what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong? He harassed women, raped one.
Really?
Harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wiped spittle from his mouth?
From rape to harassment to threats of violence. Why the strange de-escalation?
Yeah, that is weird.
He regrets mentioning it. Hopes you didn't notice.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. That was before he started coming here.
I'm not sure you guys are telling the
he said it
truth.
was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grab one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
Right.
He grabbed someone?
The lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information. Me too.
Yeah. This girl's on the mic. A beautiful girl. Young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. Grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me
Okay.
your... Why
Whoa.
don't you show me your...
No, 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 no,
Then
no.
He gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted, raped, you said? Okay.
Aren't you listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Okay.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you listening?
I'm trying to, but you're saying some
There's
crazy
something
stuff.
odd here.
Yeah.
Seems like they don't want to talk about that rape Titus mentioned. Why not? This is a serious allegation. Make them talk about it.
Okay, right. But who did he rape then? This is a very serious allegation.
No. You're not getting the name. That's a Martinez matter. And I'm not discussing it with you clowns.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing you can do for now. He's stonewalling you.
Okay. So let's see. Who called the shots last night?
Are you deaf? There will be no singling anyone out. You can't arrest a Hardy Boy without arresting all Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Do you think you could do that? Do you think you could arrest them all?
A shadow of a smirk passes her lips as she tilts her head.
Trick question. Don't let her lead the conversation.
I don't have to. One of them was more complicit than the others. No, but seriously, who called the shots around here?
Who do you think does?
He sounds more amused than angry. Point at Titus. You do. You give the commands. Point at Elizabeth. I thought she did. The biggest animal dominates the herd. I'm guessing it's the big one. Gangs are usually run by the oldest, most venerable member. It's gotta be Titus, right?
That's right. Titus Hardy runs the Hardy Boys.
I mean, it's in
Ain't
the
that
name.
so, fellas?
He looks around for approval.
I think you got your answer, Mr. Law.
Okay.
No, you did not get an answer. Titus does administrative work. He pushes paper, fills out forms. The others can't read. But on that night, they all acted as one man.
Okay. How did you kill him?
We hanged him up by his neck until he got real still. Wasn't that obvious, Copper?
I mean,
Didn't they teach you
yes,
anything at the
but
cop school, idiot?
I mean, we gotta
This is
cover all
where
the bases.
an autopsy would come in handy. You have to work with what you know.
Okay. Right, maybe another question then.
Maybe wrap it up instead?
You murdered him just like that, no remorse?
How many people have you sent to the Shays? Ever felt remorse for them?
Chaise électrique is the method of capital punishment in
Is that
Russia
electric chair?
under the coalition. During the suzerain's reign, it
Oh,
used to be the
okay,
firing
yeah.
squad.
Okay, okay.
Or send them to reunion to rot. For 20 years. For life.
He says it as if it were worse than dying. And reunion is, what's that? Ah, yes. But these were all bad people, criminals, the scum of the earth. Look, I'm just doing my job, that's all. What we do is different. We enforce the law. You just kill people like it's nothing. Honestly, I drink so much I can't really remember anyone I've sent behind bars. And reunion, what's that?
The River Esperance Correctional Facility, a military prison run by the coalition, dubbed Reunion by the inmates. The origin of the name is unknown.
All right. What we do is different. We enforce the law.
But you see, a lawman, is something people agree upon. And here in Martinez, we agreed that this man had to die.
All right. So what are we going to do now?
Nothing. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
The lieutenant closes his
Done
notebook.
this job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder, even if it is a group responsibility. We're going to look into this.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us, real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
So, establish authority. We would need a lot more authority. We don't have any kind of authority, right? Let's see. Where is authority? We could get 1 point in it. Man. There's so much stuff we need points for. Alright, a person... We also need to ask about the missing person, right? So I found 8 sets of footprints, but there's only 7 new. Where is the 8th Hardy Boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy Boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
Really?
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy Boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
I don't think so.
Shut the up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the you want?
Uh-huh.
It has to be good, if he won't let you pursue it. Looks like the lieutenant thinks so too.
Yep.
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy Boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
Exactly.
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your end.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Oh man, they really need... If we're not cops here, they seriously need cops here.
We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
All right, let's see. So I've connected you to the local drug trade.
Like you have. There is no local drug trade. This place is as clean as a rifle. Go back to Jamrock and ask the local junkies how clean your streets are in Precinct 41 kilos.
We'll do that. In the meantime, did you know that there's an abandoned lorry at the intersection that was used to move raw ingredients for drugs from Terminal B to Jamrock?
Mm-hmm.
The person driving it was present at the hanging. It was one of you. We've connected the footprint. Detective, do you want to deliver the coup de grace?
Oh boy.
The thought forms in your head, like a lightning strike branching in the sky.
Let's see. You're right, there is no local drug trade except you. No, do the honor, you've earned it. Forget it. I knew they'd never own up to it. Last time we let Kim do it, and then he did not succeed and felt bad about it. All right, so let's say there's no local drug trade except you.
That's a mighty interesting theory. I guess that's what you would need to do, theoretically. A big, strong, state-run monopoly would outcompete the runts on the street.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Theoretically, that's what you would do. To get rid of the gangs, the dealers, even some of the junkies.
Mm-hmm.
You would need good, trustworthy people to take their place, of course. Hardy men to run such a monopoly. For the good of the community, of course.
This is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting off of poisoning your own people. Good idea. People are always going to do drugs. At least this way you have some control of it. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. I know for a fact there's still plenty of drugs out there. This is disgusting. You're admitting to profiting off of poisoning your own people.
Boo who? People will always be taking drugs. Might as well do it clean and organized.
Yeah, that's what the labor movement is all about. Clean and organized. And the Hardy Boys are running it.
Okay.
Theoretically, of course. We're just talking politics here. My answer to your drug accusation is, how dare you? Go yourself.
I'm sure.
Not quite yet, Mr. Hardy. There were 8 sets of prints on the crime scene. There are only 7 Hardy Boys here.
The 8th Hardy, the one who's missing. She runs the thing, right?
My answer is off. Mind your own business. There is no 8th Hardy.
Yes, there is.
Scene.
I don't think so.
And here we go. Back to the usual.
The woman size.
I know. Fatty walked on all 4s. He's so fat he left 2 sets of footprints.
Despite everything, the little man is quick on his feet.
Go your mom, Dennis.
Oh boy.
That's more like it, boys. You heard him. It was Angus on all 4s. Anything else you need to know?
All right. What else did we get? Prove your authority to Titus Hardy. Soften them up first. Maybe investigate the crime scene or the body. Look for a witness. Get help from the union boss or the company rep. Tie them to any other crimes. Okay. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Alright, I think that's it for that. We can level up, but we're not going to do anything with that now. I'm going to take off now. Alright, we learned quite a lot. This is what I studied law for. Oh boy. So I guess now we can go talk to the lady at the dock, right? And tell her what we found.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Alright, well, first off, do you know something about these tattoos? Let's show her the photo from our
the man
corpse.
Who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Okay, okay, fine, let's... How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the forestay to the backstay on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Okay, so I spoke to the lorryman at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
We have discovered enough to conclude for now.
Yes. And will you start an official investigation?
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Mm-hmm. Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement.
Nice.
I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn.
Okay.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
What was that about a bloodbath? Tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected? What was that about a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
That doesn't sound good.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
It's nice of Margaret Thatcher to stop by.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor.
Is that
as
our
an
body?
Insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
A momentary lapse of faith?
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
Did you need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Okay.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived.
I mean,
in
that
Martinez.
checks.
They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating.
Okay.
They wear ceramic armor, have
Okay.
semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman.
Okay, so
while he was
that
drunk and separated
matches.
from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant union members to subdue him.
That
He
matches.
was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now?
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
So we're on a time limit.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
Oh boy, you've made a mess here. I have to say, this is not disco. Maybe investigations can team up, share resources and intelligence. Boy, oh boy, is that not good? Okay, maybe investigations can team up.
Surely you're joking. These people are killers. My only hope is that yours provides a single, concrete suspect before they indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
She grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good and do it fast, they will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
Of course it will.
The Barder have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
Oh boy.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
Wow.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a difference.
As I said, a bloodbath.
Okay, I can't see it happen. Too many things would have to go wrong first. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing? I think the confrontation is inevitable. Isn't this a pretty bleak scenario you're describing?
Many bleak scenarios have already come true.
That's true.
Nameless, badgeless detective of the citizens' militia. All we can do is keep the rest from going the same way. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Okay, so, what can you tell me about Cornell?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eintracht. A warning sign, however: the operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Okay.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
No, makes sense.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
Okay.
If you still have access to the ICP's database, you could run a better background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
Yeah?
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, ma'am?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenell.
Could you contact the company, tell them to call them off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
Okay.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
So, you said the deceased assaulted a woman.
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
What did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
I mean, that's the story we got.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags, the hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too.
I mean, that's exactly the story we had from the Hardy
he's alleged
Boys.
To have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor about a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
Okay. The colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
His name was?
Lely.
Okay.
His
We
servicemen,
finally have a
Nom de
name
guerre, most likely.
for our murder
He
victim.
Wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man, Corty, they call him, a nickname as well. The other a woman, Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
When in doubt, listen to the teenagers by the canal. Exactly, they're going to be accurate.
What would you say was his eye color, the deceased?
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There's a pang of regret in her voice.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
Okay.
That's all right, then. Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40 or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age or gauge his facial expressions.
Okay.
What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian maybe.
I mean, Oranese keeps coming back.
Gave him an accent all his own. In a way, it was humanizing. He had to learn to speak through it, through the injury. That's all I know, I guess. I only met him once.
Okay. Where are the remaining 2 mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth.
That's probably true.
They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
I mean, to be honest, that's like everyone in this town, so... we still need to know where they are. We still need to know where they are. We'll confront them directly. Oh, we need to know where they are. At least then we can know where to avoid.
You're likely to run into them eventually. When that happens, I'll be in a better position to mediate if I don't appear involved.
Okay, so logic, where are these mercenaries?
One is obviously the scab leader.
Okay.
Harbor gates.
That makes sense.
The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
He did seem out of place.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates, the scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
Right?
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
I guess that's true.
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
Would afford a good vantage point.
And we did see a woman there.
Practically inaccessible.
I agree. We have not found a way to get there.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
Okay.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start. Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls squawk over the bay.
It's a matter of days, not weeks.
Oh boy, that's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Okay, so now can you tell me about these tattoos? So let's show her the photo.
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence.
It was taken with a trigette not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Let's stay quiet. Observe her expression.
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near her mouth vanish. The pupils of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like blooms in a pattern?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways. A sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
Okay.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
She points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
All right.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
Okay.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
All right.
Vredefort? Vredefort has a military academy. The Semines Islands saw a recent conflict. In Revachol, he was executed.
Maybe it's a record of his military career?
That makes sense to me. We have no more use for a map of the waterways, just like we don't need sailors the way we used to. This is what the custom would morph into on the Occident. Mercenary tattoos.
Okay.
For all the boys looking for adventure, a blood spatter on the seas.
Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture.
That's true.
This man was their friend and comrade.
They'd probably get mad.
Surely there are other people to ask about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
All right, I need the information. Mark it down. Ask Mercs about tattoos. You're right, not a good idea. Do we need it? I mean, we need it.
Do what you have to do, detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
Of course.
We will be careful, ma'am.
All right, that's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
All right, was there anything else? Like, let's talk about the lynching. Was there anything else?
Anything.
No.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of
I
bad
think
news.
that's everything,
If there is anything
right?
else I can help you with.
What about the
please
strike
ask.
at the
Of course.
harbor? No.
Of course. How else can I help?
I think that's it. Thank you. That's all for now. All right. So, what was it that we needed? We have 2 skill points. We need to spend them. And we had mere set of tracks. Where is our... We don't want to deal with Measurehead if we don't have to. Let us see. Trash container. Sleeping dock worker. Where is our damaged ledger? We really don't need the damaged ledger anymore. But there was policeman cloak. That's what we want. We want savoir faire. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the the cloak. We gotta get our cloak back. So let's head back to the yard with Kuno. And we're gonna make one final attempt right now to see if we can get our cloak back. Because we have 2 skill points. That might be enough, but we'll have to see. And that's the lady. I don't know how we'd get up there. There's a door here. I'm not sure how we would get there. She is definitely watching us, though. There's got to be some way of getting up there, but up here we go. All right, up we go. Okay, so we come up over here, and we're going to attempt to see if we can do it. We're going to put 1 skill point in it first. All right, so let's make sure we have it.
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings.
Savoir-faire. Okay, so savoir-faire, where is that? Let's put 1 point in it and see, can we do it now?
With possible RCM
That's still very low.
Still caught.
We're gonna have to put a 2nd point in and hope for the best. We have an even chance. We gotta try it. Let's see. Can we do it? Come on. Oh, we gave up.
Nope. No. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a
Ugh.
boxer, and you've climbed way too high up there.
Darn it. I can't do it right now. I'll make the jump next time.
Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
All right. So we're going to have to get another point of savoir-faire before we can try to get our cloak. And I think if we can get our cloak, then we can also access this area as well. So next time, what kinds of things can we do? We can ask the scab leader about the tattoos. That might be a good idea or not. This one, proving our authority to Titus, is not going to happen anytime in the near future. Hanged Man's boots, we can't do that until we've autopsied him, right? Which means we have to get the body down. We can't do that until we can get into the harbor. The victim's tattoos, ask about the tattoos, possible meaning. We have to ask that to somebody else. Tomorrow, the next day in the game, we'll be able to get the information about the serial number on the armor. Lost badge, I think we know where it is. Who else put the clothes in the trash? We can't really, that's not something we can really do. Again, we'll have to keep searching for the collar. Find a way into the secret passage. I don't know how we're going to do that. Find a way in. We may have to go into that one room and see if we can access it from there. We could always go back to the pawn shop and see about our gun. And then this one will be the next timed event, the smoker on the balcony. Visit apartment 28 sometime after 2100. So we're still a ways from that right now. Wow, we have learned an absolute ton about what is going on. Do we actually have our suspects? How are we going to arrest them if that's so? And where is the mysterious 8th Hardy brother or sister, as the case may be? I don't know, but we're going to have to investigate even more in the next episode. So if you like this kind of content, please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. If you want to watch live, we're on Twitch at twitch.tv/Liara27. I have my schedule posted in the about and in the description. And if you want to see which games we're playing each day, I post them on x.com/Liara27. And I hope you'll join me in the next one. Until then, guys, bye.